Panther Nation Podcast. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Oh, cut it. Cut right. And I would like to introduce one of the hottest podcasts in Carolina history. Let's go. Yeah. Talk less chat. We got time to chop it up. Talking analytics and fantasy draft. You know what's up. Panther Nation representing. Cause this is where we talk that. Talk that's so incredible. Make them rewind that talk back. Pause. Talking Panthers football. We discussing it all. On and off the field. You know exactly who to call. You know we the #1 podcast. Competition is non-existent. You need to stop that. Pause. It's an honor to be a Panther fan. Pause. At Bank of America, that is where we ball. Coming to the jungle, then you gonna feel the pause. Winning the trophy for the city, it is the call. Black, white, and blue, we going Carolina strong. And this is the conversation where everyone belongs. Discussing all the numbers and topics, you know we got it. We the hottest podcast and we poppin', let's go.
Yo, what's poppin' with the people? What's poppin', man? Early Monday start, Dave.
Listen, early. Man.
It's early.
Listen. I told y'all this could happen today.
Listen, your boy was in the gym. I was in the gym. My trainer, I was about done. Yo, I was about done. I was wrapping my workout out, and the trainer goes, "Look at it. We got ESPN playing in the joint." Trainer say, "Yo, look at the TV." You know I run the pod. So I had to get out my last set, and I ran out of here. Luckily, the gym is like 5 minutes around the corner from me. Shout out to Shane, man, and Kim for Momentum Performance. Yo, got up out of there, Dave, and here we are. We live in the building. Matt RHULE is fired. You're fired. Out of here. And listen, I never wanted to celebrate nobody losing their job, but at the end of the day, Matt RHULE is going to be fine. He's going to get a college job somewhere.
No, it's more than that. It's more than that. You know how much money he's getting? $40 million, at least $14 million. He's going to be fine, guys.
Yeah, so we not about to sit up here and again, we not about to celebrate a man losing his job or whatever, or maybe we are, but we not about to sit here and sulk over it. You know what I'm saying? Him losing his job, because this franchise was running into the shits. Okay, let's be honest let's be honest here. It wasn't looking good. So the Panthers released a statement. They said the Panthers on Monday parted ways with head coach Matt RHULE after the team fell to 1-4 with the home loss to the San Francisco 49ers. He leads with a 11-27 record, which is a .289 winning percentage. That is atrocious. And he says the 47-year-old RHULE had generally turned his college teams at Temple and Baylor around in his third season, but that bounce back did not happen here so far. He will be replaced on an interim basis by defensive pass game coordinator, secondary coach Steve Wilks, and 53-year-old spent 1 year as Arizona Cardinals head coach and 6 years on the staff of the Panthers from 2012 to 2017. So listen, it is what it is. It is what it is, bro. And I need the RHULE truthers to come forth, all of you. Y'all need to step in front of the camera. I haven't seen anybody, bro. Everybody that's in the mentions, y'all sitting here and say, "Oh, give him time. Give him time. He's his third year." Bro, this is not college. We've been saying it. This is not college, bro.
Shout out to Landon for the super chat. Listen, man, go get me. Yo, man, real talk. Where's my bottle at?
It's too early, Dave. Don't do it, Dave.
Nah, it's never too early. Yeah, man. I need another bottle of this. If you could go and get me some more in this, it would be greatly appreciated. I'll send you the money if you need it. But if they got the Caribbean cask, that's the one. If they got the Caribbean cask, that's what you need. Appreciate the super chat, Landon.
Yeah, come forth. It's okay. It's okay to admit when you're wrong. It's okay to admit when you're wrong, B. And listen, sometimes we all can't get them right. But Matt RHULE and Dave knew from the jump. Dave called this as soon as we hired him that he was not going to be the guy. I was a little bit on the fence about it. But here we are. The day has come. He was awful. And when you look and listen, all you have to do is look around the league. Look at the Giants. When the Giants, Joe Judge had the same win percentage as Matt RHULE last year. I think he had like one more.
Actually, he had more. He had a better win percentage.
Yeah, he had a better win. It was slightly better. And they canned him. And then they got Dabo or whatever. And now they're on the right side of the W column. So you got to be able to pay attention to what's going around the league, man. Like, yo, this dude was never it, bro. He was not he's not it. And, you know, it's unfortunate. All the players were mad and sad and all that yesterday. I think they knew. I think that's why. I think they knew. I think Matt RHULE may have told them, yo, if we go out bad here, I'm probably going to get canned. I think everybody in the locker room knew.
I don't think the players knew.
I think they knew. You could tell.
I think they were tired of hearing about it. You know what I'm saying? And wouldn't you? I mean, you think about somebody like a Robbie Anderson that's been here for the entire ride. You know what I'm saying? Or DJ Moore, who really hasn't seen too much success since he's been drafted. So, and sat through this entire RHULE era. Or Brian Burns, who had Rivera and then had RHULE. Like, I don't think the players knew it was going to be this quick. I don't think that was the case. I just feel like, you know, I've always felt like he was always over his head. I think a lot of the fan base, not everybody, because I don't want to say everybody, because that's not fair, but a lot of the fan base continued to give this guy the benefit of the doubt, and he hasn't done anything in the NFL. And there were other coaches who has already kind of gained some stripes in the league, and we made a decision to make sure this guy didn't get on a plane in New York, when we should have let his ass go on the plane in New York. And I was very bothered by that, because I feel like this guy hasn't done anything to warrant the cost of that contract. That's how I've always felt about it. That's what it ultimately boiled down to it for me. So when you go back and look at the archives, and when you saw me complain about this guy, and when you saw me tell you what the standards are, that's why I was where I was. There's only been 2 NFL head coaches in this franchise that did not lead us to the playoffs. One of them won 5 Super Bowls as an assistant and as a head coach. One of them was Matt RHULE. So let's not get in this all that thinking, oh, well, you just hated a guy for that. No. If you pay a guy in the top 5 of NFL head coaches, hell yeah, there's expectations. And you guys are saying, well, he never had a quarterback. He did have a quarterback.
He had several.
He let him go.
He has several of them too. And you know what? I'm about to start. All right, but I don't want to go. I'm not going to do that. I was going to call some people out. But listen. At the end of the day, name me another coach, and now he's fired. I just took it down. But go ahead, Aggie Pride shot. So Phil, we'll address this. Let's address this.
We're going to address.
Let's go ahead and address this. Let's go ahead and address this now. Phil Snow is going to leave with Matt RHULE. Okay, I'm not saying he's leaving right now, but at the end of the season, when Matt RHULE gets his job, Phil Snow is going to leave and go wherever Matt RHULE goes. That's just facts. Pay attention. Matt RHULE has never been a head coach without Phil Snow as his defensive coordinator. It has never happened. Everywhere Matt RHULE has been, Phil Snow has been right there by his side. So you can book that Phil Snow is leaving as soon as Matt RHULE gets a job. And it's not going to happen this year. It's going to be next year. Whenever he gets his catch coach job, Phil Snow is out of here, bro.
I wouldn't be shocked if truth be told, bro. And I don't think they've already, and I think they'll probably, the press conference is coming soon. Like I was on the spaces with Sheena and Vashti. They're waiting for them to get the announcement of when the press conference is going to happen with Steve Wilks, because it was supposed to be at noon because they removed Matt RHULE. That's being delayed for obvious reasons, right? So once that happens, we'll figure out how the staff looks. But I wouldn't be shocked if Phil Snow went with him.
Okay, Dave.
Let me do this. Let me do the super chat.
Go ahead.
Time for Scott Field, the builder in his vision. Appreciate it, Omar, for the super chat. My thing is this: the biggest reason why I wanted RHULE out of here at the end of last season was to give Fitterer the opportunity to hire his own coach.
Go to super chat right there. Go to super chat. He gets it. Omar gets it. This Scott Fitterer, and again, I'm not saying Scott Fitterer has made all the best decisions in the world. Let's be clear, okay? I'm not saying that. I'm not about to sit up here and say Scott Fitterer has made all the best decisions. He's made some bad ones, okay? At the end of the day, though, he's been handcuffed by a guy that was hired before him as a head coach and given all the effing power. That's not how it works. Scott Fitterer was handcuffed. He's a yes man to a guy that he didn't hire. That's not how it works. Pay attention. Look around the league. GMs and head coaches are brought in together, or worst case, the GM is allowed to bring in the head coach. It doesn't work the opposite way. This is listen, it doesn't take, and I said this last night, bro. There are guys sitting next to David Tepper that are getting paid hundreds of $1,000s to consult him, and it's common sense. Dave, it's common sense. You cannot hire a coach before you hire a GM. And you knew Marty Hurney wasn't going to be the guy. When you let Ron Rivera go, you let Hurney go too. That was the start of the disaster right at that point.
And even if you made the decision, right, to let Ron go during the season, and you just decide, all right, maybe we'll just let Hurney finish out the year, then you still let him go at the end of the year, but not let him be involved in the hiring of the next coach. That was the last thing we needed right now. And that was my thing too. Like, I just felt like that wasn't the right decision.
That's the go to super chat though, because listen, Scott Fitterer is not perfect, but he also deserves an opportunity to get his own head coach, right? And we're gonna have a bunch of videos on who the next head coach is gonna be. Trust me, y'all know I do the resume thing. I pull up all those. I do comparisons. A lot of guys, Sean Payton, Ken, there's a lot of guys out there, and we'll weigh the pros and cons. We're not going to get into that right now because we're just talking about Matt Rhule and him being fired and kind of the trickle effect that will happen as a result. But bro, Fitterer is now going to have the opportunity to build upon the vision. He's the GM. The GM is the manager of the team, general manager. Matt Rhule was the man. Matt Rhule is the man with all the keys. It's been said. Joe Person article a couple of years ago. Joe Person said that Matt Rhule is the end-all be-all. He's the guy with the decision-making. It goes through Matt Rhule. He's the man. Handicapping Scott Fitterer. Now we're going to go out here and see if Scott Fitterer is truly a good GM or not. Because like I said, he's made some really good moves. He's made some bad moves. But now there's no excuses for him, because the vision is on him at this point. The vision is on him, okay? So at the end of the day, we'll see what happens with Scott Fitterer. And now, yeah, like I said, we got Steve Wilks.
I'm having audio issues. I'll be right back in a second.
I'm still talking, bro. I got it. We still got Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks is the man right now. Steve Wilks, I don't know if he's going to turn it around. I know some of y'all is going to be like, oh, I want to tank. But I think you're going to see a different team, and I think we're going to win a couple of games. You're going to see the guy. Listen, the guy just looked overwhelmed yesterday. He went for it when he wasn't supposed to go for it. He didn't go for it when he was supposed to go for it. He just doesn't look like the Matt Rhule is not the guy. He looks in over his head. The decision making is terrible. So now we'll get Steve Wilks to come out here. Yeah, I can hear you fine, Dave.
No, I'm good. It was just I couldn't hear you, and that was my issue, so I had to reset.
Okay. But yeah, so Steve Wilks is going to get out here, and I think you'll see us win a couple of games. I still think we're going to end up picking in the top 10 because the schedule doesn't get any easier. But I think you'll see the guys play with a little bit more heart. I think you're going to see that. It's going to be a different. Now we got NFL guys. It's no more DBO, no more the brand, none of that college bull BS. That's gone. It's gone. That does not work. It's out of here. The brand, DBO, all that stuff never worked. Now you got a real man as a real NFL guy. I don't want to question Matt Rhule manhood. That's not what I meant to do. But you have a guy that has a legit head coaching pedigree in Steve Wilks. You got guys like McAdoo. I think you're going to see a different, because all those guys at the end of the day had to answer to Matt Rhule. Now that the chains are off. The chains are off. So you're going to see something. You're going to see it different.
This is going to be a different team heading to Los Angeles, guys. This is going to be a different team than what we've seen, because now we actually have a competent NFL head coach. Now my thing, that there's a couple things that makes it interesting for me about Steve Wilks being the interim head coach. First thing is the lineage of where he came from, because he's a Rivera disciple. That's the first thing. He's a Rivera disciple, and now he's back. So that is intriguing as hell. The second thing that's intriguing too is the lawsuit, because he's part of the lawsuit about the discrimination of the black head coaches in the NFL.
So
and
okay,
about
hold
the
on. Pause that real quick because I want to jump in because very important point. I don't want to forget, Dave. So if we promote from within and Matt Rule is let's say hypothetically speaking, Steve Wilks keeps the job. Does that give us our picks? Because we don't have a 3rd round pick right now. Could this be a chess move by Scott Fitterer to promote from within and get some additional draft picks? Just a thought. I don't know. I want to get that out there.
No. But the other factor too is, I appreciate the super chat. So yeah, I like I said, I think the team's going to change. But I think that is a factor. But I think, and Sheena and Vasta mentioned this in their spaces too earlier this morning, that there is a glaring statistic about Black head coaches getting the interim head coaching opportunities and not the full-time head coaching role.
That's my point.
It is a glaring statistic about that. So everybody's still, there are some of you guys in here still on Team Tank. That's not how I'm built, guys. And I want Wilks to try to turn this around. And I think he can. It ain't the talent. It's the coaching.
Yep.
We can have the discussion about how you feel about Baker. But if Baker stays in that damn boot, it might not matter. We're going to see Sam. And I think Sam will probably do better behind this offensive line. So we'll see.
Too.
So we'll see.
I think so too.
You know, everybody keeps wondering about.
I'm looking up that rule. By the way, I'm looking up the rule on.
I'm not sure if it works if you do it within, because I don't know if the Bucks got it for Todd Bowles, because they were promoted from within with Todd Bowles when he went up as a head coach. So I'm not sure if they got that, but we'll see. So we'll see, man. I think Wilks is gonna. I think it ain't gonna be a respect issue with Steve Wilks. I can tell you that right now. So it ain't going to be an issue about rallying behind him. That won't be a problem. A lot of those guys were here when he was still on Rivera's staff. So that won't be an issue. And by the way, guys, it's not an accident that he got picked up here. It's not. It's not. It's not an accident that he got added to the staff. Shaw, can you explain how we get our place remote within? Yeah, we're trying to. Rashad is looking that up right now. Appreciate the super chat.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. But basically how it works is if you pluck a coordinator from another team, right? The team that loses the coordinator job, loses the coordinator that the other team hired, gets the picks. Hold on. So let me just read this real quick. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Dang it, my ad blocker.
I think Sam might be more ready than we realize. I know RHULE said he wasn't, but we'll see. We'll see. Sam could have gotten off IR last week. So we'll see. Don't be shocked if Sam's going to LA next week. Maybe have some reunion with some of his buddies. I mean, he's from the Cali area, right?
Yeah. So for example, for the person that asked how it worked, when the Lions, when Brad Holmes was hired by the Lions, he was plucked from the Rams, right? Mm-hmm. The Rams received comp picks. I believe I think they got 3rd round picks because they lost a black executive, right? And he was promoted. You have to be promoted. It can't be a sideways lateral move. The question is, if it happens from within, do you still get the picks? Because I don't think they do. I don't think so either. I got to look it up. That's what I'm saying. Please do not take that as gospel. I don't know. I'm just asking questions because I don't know if that works.
Check and see if the Bucks got it, because the Bucks promoted from within.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Because Todd Bowles was the defensive coordinator before he became the head coach. While you do that, let me go through some of these super chats. Shout out to Cleo. We got to get the San Francisco DC sent RHULE packing. It'll be nice, but we'll see. I think that'll be a good pickup. I know a lot of folks want an offensive guy, but there's a few folks that do. But I don't know, man. We'll see. But historically, we've never had an offensive-minded head coach. Even on the interim side, when you sit down and think about it. Because the only interim head coach we've ever had was Parafuel, and he came from the secondary. So who's our QB1? Baker in the boot and Sam still hurt? Like I said, appreciate the super chat, Nicholas. I don't think Sam is as hurt as we believe he is.
Yeah. he might be ready, bro. I'm going on conspiracy. I'm going out on a limb here and say that they were trying to protect Baker Mayfield's feelings by not elevating Sam Darnold from IR or whatever, because they didn't want to create a controversy. Because as soon as Sam gets activated and Baker starts playing bad, people are gonna be screaming for Sam, and I think they wanted to avoid that. I personally think Sam is ready to go. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah,
and you could see him magically become available next week. Don't be surprised. I'm still looking. I
never thought we would see the day that Sam Darnold would actually get a starting job back, but here we are. Bro, I don't have a crystal ball. I've seen enough. I've been watching football since I was a kid, before the Panthers existed.
Okay.
The shit doesn't work.
I found it, Dave.
And guys, we got 620 people here watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We got the subscribers up. And by the way, man, become a Patreon. Become a Patreon. I'll put the ticker down here. We do a lot of really great stuff. We give away tickets to games, signed merch for our MVPs and things of that sort. We occasionally give things away to the franchise and the free agents as well. But nah, man, become a Patreon. Information is below. Shout out to Corey. I'm very excited for Wilks to get this opportunity. I do think there was issue between McAdoo and RHULE, and maybe, just maybe, our office will look different this coming week. It might. Somebody earlier asked me about DJ Moore. I still won't start him until I see him, but he's not droppable yet because he's getting too many targets. And we'll probably talk about that tomorrow.
So real quick, I got to go back and address the question from the super chat, because this is the type of thing I like. I like to understand the compensation, all that stuff, and the draft, all that stuff. So this is the question I wanted to know for myself. But according to a verified source, going back to Todd Bowles when he was promoted from within, and just for frame of reference for those that are wondering what we're talking about, we're talking about potentially getting a draft pick or potential draft picks by elevating Wilks to permanent head coach. Not this year as interim head coach. We're talking about if he was hired as full-time head coach next season. Now, here's what happened when the Bucks hired him. So there is no compensatory draft picks due to the Bucks promoting a Todd Bowles to head coach. Those are intended for teams that lose minority assistants to head coaching or GM jobs with other teams. So it doesn't work if you do it from within. So we would have to, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we're the hiring team. It matters. We have to lose the guy. So Wilks essentially would have to get hired as a head coach on another squad for us to get picks.
Or another example, if a lot of you guys want DeMarco Ryans, if we hire DeMarco Ryans to be the head coach, San Francisco will get those top picks.
Correct. So yeah, again, I'm thinking outside the box. I went too far. My bad. But I was just thinking outside the box. Maybe that could have been a move that Scott Fitter would have pulled. But he got fired on his day off. That's funny. That is funny. I didn't realize
head coaches get the day off.
Hey Dave, let's keep an eye on the Panthers. Let's keep an eye on the Panthers Twitter real quick. I'm not sure if it's on. I'm just saying let's keep an eye on it. Let's make sure we catch it when it goes live. All right.
Let me see. All right. Looks like Quick Blitz is still doing their spaces. So I know Sheena and Vasta are going to be at the presser. So I think they're waiting to hear word as well.
Shout out to Derek90. He says, from our newest Patreon member, remember my super chat from yesterday about the solution to our problems already in this about the solution to our problems already be in the building. This is a great start. You're right. My bad. Couldn't read that right. But you're right. You're right. I think again, and I've been on record saying this. The talent is not the issue, bro. It's the coaching. Yes, we have some gaps. We don't have a perfect roster, but we should be able to compete with the roster we have. And I think you're going to see a change. And I'm telling y'all, you're going to see a change. You're going to see a change for sure. We're going to see. And it may take a couple of weeks for us to get it right, but you're going to see a change, man. You're going to see a change. And this is a start. This is what we needed to instill some hope, to get some butts back in the seats. There was a lot of red in our stadium yesterday, and I think this is a start to getting fans excited about coming back to Bank of America Stadium. Because again, we got the next game is going to be against the Bucks. You know they're gonna flood the building because Tom Brady.
The next home game is up against the Bucks, right? Or
the next home game. That's what I meant. The next home game is against the Bucks. So, what DJ Moore rumors? What we talking about? Well, I don't know about the DJ Moore rumors.
Shout out to 919 BW1LL. PFT did call it last night. But the thing is, man,
I read it.
The thing is, man, it's obvious. I mean, Tepper hasn't shown that he has patience. And the fact that he was screaming patience, you knew it was going to be a matter of time. Ron Rivera got fired for less.
He did.
He got fired for less. But we know why. Because he that wasn't his guy. But he got fired for less. And you could, if you were paying attention to Rivera's comments when he talked about analytics and things of that sort, Rivera wasn't trying to have it. Rivera has no issue having conflicts with folks if he doesn't agree with something, because he's a firm guy when it comes to certain things. So, when you take all that into account, you knew it was just a matter of time. It was just more of the opportunity, but he got fired for less. That dude was winning games for Cal Allen, bro.
Let's be clear. And let's be clear, and because I got into a little Twitter spat yesterday with someone, I'm not going to air it out, but I'll say this: there's nobody had as many opportunities as Matt RHULE had, right? To get the quarterback situation right, to get this team on the right track. You exhausted all possibilities, bro. Your plan didn't work. It didn't work. It did not work. Okay. Let's do
a quick walk through history of our head coaches.
Hey, you gotta let me get my point. You hold on. Let me get my.
Oh no, I'm not bad, man. Go ahead. Get your point. Finish.
It'll kind of it'll coincide. It'll coincide what you're saying. Just give me 1 second. So
go ahead.
So nobody had as many opportunities as Matt RHULE to get it right from the quarterback situation, right? Look around the league. How many head coaches get that many stabs at the quarterback? There aren't too many. And if there are, they're either on the hot seat or at least have earned the right, i.e. playoff experience, playoff appearances. They've earned that right, because if you take a look at up the street, we talk about defensive head coaches. Ron Rivera, how many quarterbacks have he had, Dave? A lot. But they made the playoffs. I think Frank Reich was another one. Frank Reich made the playoff twice. So you get a little bit of a leash. But now, guess what? Even Rivera is on the hot seat. He's on the hot seat right now.
The Washington situation is intriguing only because they're talking about selling the team. I think the moment they sell the team, Rivera's leash is pretty much a wrap. He's going to probably get the same fate that he did with Tepper over here, from that standpoint. But to get this point, I just want to go through a quick timeline of coaches. Dom Capers was our first ever NFL head coach in Panthers history. He was a defensive coordinator. George Seifert, legendary George Seifert, 5-time Super Bowl champion. He was our second head coach. He was a defensive coordinator. John Fox was our third head coach. He was a defensive coordinator. Ron Rivera was our head coach. One of the only head coaches to be number one on defense on both with a 4-3 and a 3-4. He was a defensive coordinator. Matt RHULE, it was neither. He wasn't a defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator. He was just a people's guy.
Not a damn thing. Not a damn, didn't have not damn one damn skill to call to his name. Not one.
So there's your history lesson. So when folks wonder why I feel like we might just end up with another defensive guy, and considering where Tepper came from as a minority owner, they have a history of just taking defensive guys too. So that's why I feel the way I feel. I know you guys want an offensive guy, but top of my list is Ryans, bro. Because if I know we're gonna go defensive, DeMeco Ryans is my guy.
I'm not mad at DeMeco. I'm not mad at that at all. I'm not gonna be mad at that. I would prefer an offensive guy because, like I said a million times, Dave, offensive guys get plucked first. If you have a good offense, you're getting plucked. You're getting plucked. Okay, and you gotta have a good offense. You gotta have a good offense to maintain. So, again, I'm not mad at DeMeco. I will not be mad at DeMeco Ryans at all. Sean Payton got to be on that list, but Sean Payton going to be a tough sell because, listen, Sean Payton, the Saints still own the rights to his contract. They're not just going to give him to us.
We're going to have to trade something to get him.
Yeah, they're not just going to give him to us or give him a bag. It'll take a bag.
It'll take at least a first-round pick, guys. I just want to prepare you. I'm here to prepare you. So I know folks are saying, well, maybe we want to tank. Not if we about to be willing to trade a first-round pick to do it. But it's going to cost you something.
Yep. Okay, just to follow up on this, read Jay Glazer's tweet. Here we go. I'm about to read it right now. Teams will now be calling the Carolina Panthers to trying to trade from some of their players as they hope Carolina will look to stockpile picks as they rebuild. Because we only have 4 picks. I did my draft Monday this morning. We only have 4 picks in the draft. So I think it could be a fire sale. And I think it's the right thing to do. If you want to talk about building a team, look at what the Eagles did. Fire sale. They sold guys. You got to sell to get picks. That's the proper way to build a team. You have got to sell. You got to become sellers. Y'all not going to like it, but you got to become sellers.
But then you guys can start having the discussion about tanking. Then you can have the discussion about
it'll be a natural tank. You don't have to tank. It'll be natural.
Yeah.
Keith Murphy says the Qs get a second chance. Shout out to the Qs. You guys do a good job. Aggie Pride. Shout out to
Aggie
the Qs.
Pride, my man. Shout out to Musa.
Steve Wilks a Q?
He might be. The Panthers got a couple on the roster, so shout out to TG Stripes. I was looking solid in pass pro yesterday too, man. Baker was too busy trying to double clutch a Cupid shuffle into getting sack. I know you probably haven't watched the game yet, bro. Just watch the pick 6. That's all you need to see.
Yep. Steve confirmed. Dave. Steve Wilks is a member of Omega Psi Phi. Shout out to the Qs. Blue Phi though, but shout out to the Qs.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be shocked that Snow leave also. Yeah, I'm with you, bro. Rumor has it that him and Wilks had issues on how Snow used the underside. Oh yeah, there was a report about that. Wouldn't be shocked. That's why I said with RHULE gone, Snow might be going with him. But RHULE's about to get a college job. So RHULE is about to get a college job. So you ain't got to worry about that. Jesus.
We should be celebrating, should we? Throwing Sweet Carolina.
We shouldn't, man. That man lost his job, bro. He's about to get paid $40 million. So I guess it's all relative, right? It's all relative on how you want to feel about it. I wish I could lose my job and get paid $40 million on the way out the door.
Shout out to Keith with another super chat. Says, I don't see Payton going to a team without established QB. Well, he could get one. He can get one by drafting one.
Yep.
But I see what you're saying, but I agree. But if we have the number 1 overall pick.
Folks gotta remember the history too, Keith. Like, think about it. When Sean Payton became the head coach of the Saints, the debate was Dante Culpepper or Drew Brees. And Miami went with Dante Culpepper because they were worried about Brees' injury. And Drew Brees ended up becoming a Hall of Famer. Because there wasn't really an established quarterback at the time in New Orleans until they signed Drew Brees. So things to keep in mind.
Yeah. So King, whatever. Why we have to no? This was in regards to Payton, Sean Payton. The Saints still own Sean Payton's contract because he retired on them abruptly. So they still own the rights. Any team that wants to get Sean Payton has to go through the Saints. That's who we're talking about, not D'Amico.
And the other thing is you got to worry about whether or not the Saints are even going to be willing to trade him to a rival team. That's another thing. And we're going to have to give up some picks. And it's not going to be like a 6th-round pick. It's going to probably we probably should check and see what the Bucs had to give up to the Colts when they traded when they got when Gruden went to the Bucs. Yeah, when Gruden went to the Bucs, what did the Bucs have to give up to get Gruden to the Bucs that time in the early 2000s? Before
that was a long time ago too. That was a long time ago. So
I think it was a 2nd-round pick. I think maybe a 2nd or a 3rd-round pick or something like that. It might have been a 1st, but let me see if I can pull it up. This is a decent question. What players would y'all fire, sell, or keep? I mean, everybody has to be on the table. Christian McCaffrey is on the top of the list, bro. I got to be honest with y'all. You can't build a team around a running back. That's what we've been trying to do, and I've been trying to tell y'all for the longest, and y'all don't listen to me. But I love C-Mac, but he was the first player I would go, and we would do him a favor, to be honest with you. I got the answers. I got the answer about the John Gruden trade. Tampa Bay gave up a massive haul in exchange by sending a 2002 and 2003 first-round draft picks, 2002 and 2004 second-round draft pick, and $8 million in cash to trade John Gruden from the Raiders to the Bucs. Fam, y'all want to pay that? Now, granted, it was Al Davis, so
that's not happening. And the Saints are not even going to entertain it, sending their coach to the division rival. That's not going to happen. He'll go somewhere else. Ken Dorsey is a good option. I think, like Dave said earlier, D'Amico Ryans is a good option. But let's see. Steve Wilks. Let's see how he does. Y'all got to remember, he didn't get a fair shot. He didn't get a fair shot with the Cardinals, bro.
The answer might be on the staff. Never know.
Yeah,
he didn't get a fair shake in Arizona, guys. I don't think he did not get a fair shake in Arizona.
He didn't. Hey, listen, we got. My fault, Dave. My fault. We didn't get over. We got over Trey and Steve Smith real quick, and we got over getting rid of Cam. I'm sure we can get over CMC as well. Go ahead, Dave. My fault. Oh, no. Okay. Was that the one? Oh,
my bad. How
y'all
feel about the DJ Moore rumors? What DJ Moore rumors?
We just talked about that, Dave. We just talked about that, about guys being on the block. That's the fire sale that we just mentioned.
We just signed him to a brand new deal, bro. The cap hit would be freaking enormous if we did that. Enormous.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be. I think
if we're gonna trade guys, we're talking CMC. We're talking guys that have 5th-year options like your Brian Burns, and I don't want it to happen. But these are the guys we're talking about, man. We're talking about rookies who still got a little bit of time on their deal that might, that you might not re-sign. Those are the guys that we're talking about when you talk about who we're going to trade. We're talking Shaq Thompson, but I'm worried about his contract too. There's guys that could potentially get traded in this equation. It's going to be more of the core guys that you guys don't want to see gone. Like, that's just the reality of the fact. So if you guys are you tank truthers, that's the route of a tank. You give up all your good guys.
It's a natural
like
tank.
You make this look like 2001 when George Seifert gave the warning shot about, hey, we're gonna bring in all these young guys, we're gonna get younger, we're not gonna re-sign Steve Berline. This is not gonna be good. And they rolled with Jeff Lewis, he was trash. And they brought out Chris Winkie to proceed 1-15. But Steve Smith was on that roster. So, you got to weigh it.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, it's going to be, there are going to be trades that happen. Be clear. Because guess what? You have to set yourself up to be successful with your new head coach. You're not going to handicap a new head coach by only having 4 picks. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Shout out to Lawrence, man.
What does that say?
Chat. I saw someone in the Mid-City group say that Tepper wanted fit to handle it like Zoran handled the Charlotte FC coach. Well, yeah, I mean, that's his job as a GM. He's the one supposed to give the bad news. That's your gig, man. As somebody that's a manager, that's your job. That's why they pay you the big bucks. You make the tough decisions.
So back to what I was saying. I think you're going to see trades, bro. You're not going to handicap your new head coach by only having 4 picks in the next draft. It could be the top overall pick, and we could move around, shake and bake and all that stuff, but you're not just going to have 4 picks. You need to, it's time to fire sale. It's going to be some guys that y'all, listen, we can't, it's time to detach yourself. Seriously. Like, if you don't hear anything else, it's 722 people watching this. If you don't hear anything else from me right now, and you listen to what I'm saying, disconnect from your favorite players. You need to be able to disconnect. I'm listen, for me at this point, when they cut Steve Smith, that hurt my soul, fam. That hurt my soul. Yep. That I became emotionless at that point. That's why I don't get when we cut Cam. You didn't hear me up here crying. I became emotionless, B. I could care less about any player that was let go because it happened to the greatest Panther of all time. So I could care less. You need to disconnect, bro. I know y'all like these guys, seriously, but it's time to let it go. Be prepared.
Y'all gotta understand, yo. That Steve Smith cut hurt my soul, bro. That hurt my soul.
I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think it was possible for you that you let your guys like that walk. When we traded him to the Ravens, that hurt me, bro. And I tell you,
he just got cut and he got resigned. He got signed to the Ravens.
You're right. My bad. You're right.
We didn't even get nothing for him.
Exactly. You're right. But when that happened, bro, that hurt me. So again, disconnect.
Appreciate the super chat on Brian Flores. I wouldn't be mad at it. I just don't see it happening. Because he could coach. He can coach. You got to win a record against Bill Belichick. You can coach. I don't care what you say. You can coach. Well, you ain't gonna get much for Temple and Baylor players. I can tell you that right now. Maybe Robbie might get some for Robbie. We'll see.
Oh, my fault. I keep doing that. My bad, Dave.
No, you good.
Shout out to Jerome. Yeah, we just talked about this. We just talked about the tweet from Glazer. That's what happens. With everybody, as long as we don't get trade raped, I'm cool with it. As long as we don't, take major L's, but it's time. It's time
if
to
they
set
can get
yourself
cap,
up.
if they can get some cap space relief with some of these trades, I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it one bit.
Yeah, man. I didn't do my my offensive line stuff yet, but he's coming around. I told you, got to be patient. You got to be patient. He's gonna get better. Icky's gonna get better and better and better, bro. So Icky won't be on the block. He's on a rookie deal. Those aren't the guys we're talking about. Icky's a good player. We're not talking about him. We're talking about guys like Christian McCaffrey, guys that have these big contracts, guys like Shaq Thompson, DJ Moore potentially. I know we just extended him, but it's potential. It could happen. Robbie Anderson, those type of guys those are the guys that you could see traded for sure. You could see those guys traded, and it's all to get cap relief and draft picks. That's the way you build a roster. For those that have been watching my draft builds and my cap, all the cap videos I put out, now's the time that this stuff comes to fruition, because you really need to start understanding how to build a roster. Because listen, and this is another thing. Be clear, Dave. Let's talk about this for a second. We cannot F up this rebuild. We cannot halfway do it. It's time to strip it all the way down. Strip it all the way down, fam. Don't half rebuild. That's where we messed up when we hired RHULE in the first place. We didn't tear it all the way down. If you were going to get rid of Cam Newton and all that stuff, you should have tore it all the way down to rebuild it back up. We did not do that. We did not do that. We tried to half-ass the rebuild. And so at this point, we got to do it right.
All right. We got some super chats to catch up on, man. I'm just trying to keep it rolling. I want to make sure I hit everybody's, because we really do appreciate the super chat. How do y'all feel about Lions OC Ben Johnson as a sleeper head coach? No. Nope. I'm good. Nope. I'm all set. I know the Lions offense looks pretty good. Nah, I'm good. But yeah, man. Let's see here.
Let me check the Twitter.
So what's your expectations for this team at this point?
It's a good question. My expectations, bro, I just want to see competent football. I don't mind losing, bro. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't mind seeing us lose. I just hate seeing incompetency. And that's what I saw under Matt RHULE and his regime. It was just incompetent football, incompetent decision-making. Just bad football. It was just bad football. I just want to see us go out there and look like an NFL team. That's what I want to see. I want to see us go out there and end up looking like a solid NFL team week to week and compete, bro. And I do think we'll get a couple of victories. I think we can come out. I think we can come out and beat the Rams. The Rams ain't playing the best football right now. I think it's a winnable game, to be honest with you. So I think we could beat. The only concern
is J.C. Horn, whether or not he's going to be able to play next week. But we'll get into that later in the week, obviously. But
this is a great comment, and I do think he does change the morale and culture. The culture for sure. The culture, yes, because we had a college culture. That's what we had here. They kept calling us a program. The program. We're not a program. We're an NFL team, not a program. Programs are college. That's what Matt, and it grinded my gears to hear him say that, because it was evident that that's how we were being run, like a program. DBO, having guys run like that. Come on, B. Like the DBO sign, tap the DBO sign, come back. Like, come on, man. The brand, that's not what we do.
The biggest comment I heard, and I felt that shit. When they were talking about on the pivot, when they interviewed Mike Tomlin, and Mike Tomlin says, I know these coaches in the NFL. Because he was talking about how Raheem Morris hasn't had another opportunity. He said, I know these coaches in the NFL. And I was like, and right now, there isn't 32 head coaches in the NFL that's a better head coach than Raheem Morris. Or he kind of something to that effect. So basically, he was pretty much saying, and honestly, he threw, if y'all were paying attention, he threw a slight at Matt RHULE when they played in the preseason recently last year too. But I don't know if y'all caught that shit. I don't know if y'all caught that, but you know. And it's
So
rare that Mike Tomlin slips and says stuff like that. But
so this comment right here is in regards to somebody saying, how are y'all so confident in Steve Wilks so far? And this is true. Number one, because he's not Matt Rhule, and I 1000%. That's why I highlighted this, because he isn't Matt Rhule. That's number one. The number two, the reason why we're confident in Steve Wilks is because he has head coach experience, albeit it's 1 year. But he has experience. He didn't get a fair shot. He coached 1 year and was canned after 1 year. He didn't have a fair shot with the rookie quarterback. It wasn't good. But I think he deserves another shot. And he comes, like Dave said earlier, he comes from the Ron Rivera tree. He comes from that tree. That tree is doing awfully well. If you look at Buffalo and look around the league, look at his tree. It's doing pretty well.
We could talk about how he's.
Do you want to break it down? His tree is doing fine.
That Ron Rivera tree is a problem, guys. All you got to do is look at what Buffalo and what happened with the Bills and the Steelers yesterday. If you want to know how that tree's doing,
trees matter. We got a damn. We got Dave.
We even got branches.
We got a damn blade of grass and Matt Rhule. That's what we had. We ain't get no trees.
My man said blade of grass. No seeds given.
No seeds. Not a seed.
Not a seed in sight. Oh, that was hilarious.
But trees do matter, man. Trees matter. And I think that's why Steve Wilson
Rivera shit is spreading. The Giants, the Bills, that shit. Fam, that shit's spreading. What about offensive linemen? You thinking it should be untouchable? No. I wouldn't say that.
You know what though? I think.
But even though I gotta own up, that's what they're playing well.
You got to be. He is. I think Eflin is okay, but I think that for me, I would leave the offense. I wouldn't touch the offensive line. I think everybody on the offensive line should, because they all have decent contracts and they're all under contract for multiple years, right? So I made the comment earlier when I did the mock draft Monday that we got Icky and Brady Christensen on rookie deals for the next like 3-4 years, and then you got Eflin, who was on a contract for I think another couple of years. Then you got a hot take? Corbett. Hold on, Corbett on a deal for another couple of years, and then Taylor Moton on a deal for a couple of more years. So the offensive line is fine. I will leave that as is, personally.
You want a hot take?
What's up?
If there's a rookie that will get traded, I think it's Brady Christensen. If you want a hot take,
I think that
If you want a hot take. If there's a rookie that's going to get traded in this fire sale, it's going to be Brady Christensen.
I can see that.
And and let me be clear, that's not a knock on Brady Christensen. I think Brady Christensen is a good offensive lineman. Let me be clear when I say this. I just think if you're gonna trade a rookie offensive lineman, it's going to be Brady Christensen.
He doesn't mean rookie. He means a rookie on a rookie deal.
Not a guy on a rookie deal. Excuse me. Yeah, a guy on a rookie deal.
Second year.
Guy on a rookie deal. Rams fired Fisher at 4-12, hired McVay, went 11-5. You don't have to blow it up. Draft a QB and hire a great head coach. You don't get rid of weapons for a rookie QB. It's true. It's true.
He's not right. I mean, he's not wrong. You don't have to blow it up. I would personally, because it's not just about personnel, it's about the cap and everything else that comes along with that. Future contracts. I wouldn't be tied to anybody. I will let the coach go in here and do exactly what he needs to do. Give him all the resources to do what he needs to do. So if he wants to get rid of XYZ, get him out of here. So I'm all for a good, clean house. Because again, we tried to not do it, and look where it got us.
All right, hold on one second.
What we got?
I'm trying to check and see. It looks like the Spaces still going? That's how I can tell. Yeah, the Spaces is still going right now. Yeah, the Spaces is still going right now. Let's see here.
Yeah, they're not live. The Panthers aren't live.
Nah, they're not live yet. They're still probably trying to figure it all out. So
yeah, man. It's a mess. And I'm glad we made the first step. The first step it was getting rid of Matt Rhule. We did that, and I'm glad we did that. Matt Rhule is going to go back to the college ranks and be a decent coach because he's a decent people motivator, and he's gonna do well in college. He's never going to win a national championship or nothing like that, but he's going to be solid. That's what he did with the teams he did the teams he had in college. So he never was go ahead.
So here's my thing. Yeah, like I agree with you, dude. Matt Rhule was never a college NFL head coach. But when we talk about this, is by far the worst head coach we've ever had, though.
Agreed.
And I don't even think it's close.
I don't think it's close either.
Yeah. Fortunately, I feel like we're setting up Wilks. Well, that's what happens to black head coaches, guys. They rarely get to inherit a good team. The only person I could think of is Tony Dungy, Todd Bowles, and that just happened. And Jim Caldwell, when Tony Dungy retired and gave the keys to Jim Caldwell when he was the coach of the Colts. And even then, he got a raw deal. Because when Payton got hurt and they went 2-14, they fired him. So they typically don't get to inherit great situations. That's a historical thing. You can decide on how you feel about it. Same thing with Perry Sewell when we fired Rivera and he was the acting coach. So we just hope Wilks does enough to give himself enough of a resume. Maybe he'll win more games than what he did in Arizona to show, like, you guys are trading my guys. You're doing a fire sale on my roster. So maybe, if he wins a couple games, he'll get an opportunity to become a head coach full-time, whether it's here or somewhere else. Appreciate the super chat, though. It's time to play younger players. Yep, we're there.
I agree with this. Get them out there. See what you got. Get them out there. 1,000%. So
oh, yeah. Tomlin did get a good situation. But at the same time, if you understood what it took for Tomlin to get that job, shout out to the owners of that franchise, because everybody had that as a shoo-in for two other guys who also, and one of them actually did get another opportunity as a head coach of a different team. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm trying to wait to see if they go live for the press conference.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. So we're trying to. How long you want to hang out, Dave, to see if they?
Let me see if I can shoot a quick message to Sheena and ask if
I need some food, bro.
Who you telling? I ain't have breakfast today. I'm about to go grab a protein shake.
Somebody DoorDash me some food so I can stay live.
You mess around, you're gonna mess around and you're gonna have like 5 meals in your crib, man.
Yo, somebody DoorDash me some Chipotle, dog. Oh, here's an interesting article. This is a good conversation right here. So y'all give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. So this is 8. This shout out to Dean Jones, who wrote for the Fansided. 8 primary head coaching targets for the Carolina Panthers in 2023. You guys let me know who you like. Let's see. So Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris is number 1 on their list.
That's interesting. I think he deserves a head coaching opportunity. He's a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
Look,
thumbs up or thumbs down for Raheem Morris. Give me an emoji in the chat. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
The thing about Raheem Morris that makes him interesting, he is a defensive guy. But when he got fired from the Bucs, he was willing to take any job. And at one point, he became the wide receiver coach for the Atlanta Falcons. So that tells me that the man could coach. He could coach. So I wouldn't have an issue if Raheem Morris got the opportunity.
Yeah. Real quick, I'm gonna pause right here. 736 people watching. Make sure you hit that like button for your boys to get the algorithm to pop. Like and hit the subscribe button too, because our subscribers are slowing down. So hit that subscribe button. I think we are a couple people away from 17,400. Let me just check.
No word yet on the presser. Shout out to Sheena.
Yep, we are 11 people away from 17,400. So hit that subscribe button for your boy. All right, so let's keep going. Let's keep going with this. Next head coach candidate, DeMeco Ryans. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Oh God, easily yes.
Yeah, I like it. Again, I prefer an offensive guy, but these two defensive guys, and Dave is right. What he said earlier, we've had nothing but defensive guys outside of this clown we just had. He don't even count. I don't even acknowledge his error. When we look at Panthers history, we ain't even gonna acknowledge his error. It's
shortest tenure head coach in franchise history.
Who? I don't even know who
shortest tenure head coach.
Oh, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Like we gonna be real talk. We're gonna be out here. We're gonna be out here. This is just gonna be like a blow by. Like
I don't even know what you're talking about. What's the little what's the men Black John?
Pew!
I don't even know what you're talking about, Dave. That's what just happened. That's what just happened. I don't even know.
There's a lot of real talk. There's a lot of thumbs down, man. There's a lot of thumbs down. Yeah, man.
Getting a lot of thumbs down.
Up. There's some thumbs down. Talking about he's too new. Shit, we just hired somebody that never had the experience. Talking about he's too new. Too new is hilarious.
So next up, the next name was Sean Payton. Sean Payton was the next name. We talked about Sean Payton. Again, the Saints own the rights to his contract. I don't think we're going to be able to pry him.
No. Let's put it with a caveat.
Okay.
If you have to give up two, if we were to get him, you would have to give up 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. And I understand it was Al Davis that did it, but have you seen our owner? 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, including the one for next year.
Mm-mm.
So now, thumbs up, thumbs down for that.
Nah,
so I want to put it in a caveat for you guys. Thumbs up or thumbs down. So if I see a thumbs up, that means you're willing to give up 2 first-rounders and 2 second-rounders. And they paid them $8 million. And they paid the Saints the Raiders $8 million.
Yeah, we don't care.
I ain't even going to include the money.
Yeah, we don't even care about that because that doesn't count towards the cap.
That's minor details. Yeah, that's minor details.
And Tep got it, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah,
real quick, we 3 subscribers away from 17,400. So hit that subscribe button if you just watching or you're new here. We appreciate you coming back.
Is the enemy on that list?
I'll see. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Right.
We're getting there.
We'll answer this question if he's not on the list. But appreciate the super chat, Dominique.
Sean Payton. What's the next one? I'm a thumbs down because Dave is right. I don't see it happening anyway because the Saints own the rights. Next coach, Gerard Mayo from the Cowboys.
He's on the Cowboys now. I thought he was with the Patriots.
Patriots. My bad. Patriots. My fault. That's what I meant to
say. Interesting story about Gerard Mayo. I think he should be the defensive coordinator for the Patriots. But do you know who is the defensive coordinator for the Patriots?
I don't.
Bill Belichick's son.
It's his son. Yeah. I did know that.
Nephewtism.
Shout out to Pat Coltrane
at its finest. So I think Gerard Mayo could coach.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. He's young. You want to talk about? Just hung it up
not too long ago.
Yeah, he just left the league not too long ago. He got drafted.
I like the young picks.
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad at it. I think that's a sleeper pick. Gerard Mayo is a sleeper pick because I think he can coach. I really do. Yeah, I am concerned about the Patriots lineage when it comes to coaches, but I think he can coach. Wouldn't be as mad about it. Sleeper pick.
So Mayo is 36 years old, Dave. That's interesting. I know. But I take that. I take that.
That's why I said sleeper pick. I wouldn't mind a younger guy getting in there, and he can relate to the players. He's won a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? He's got some level of credentials. I understand the Belichick coaching tree isn't that strong, but I wouldn't be too mad at it because he's much younger. I think it'll help. So that's how I feel about it. I know a lot of folks gonna say thumbs down because of the Patriots coaching tree, but I mean, shit, Vrabel ain't doing half bad for Tennessee if you keep it a buck. So maybe if you were a player for Belichick, you might work out better. Maybe it's that.
And maybe it's different.
Maybe it's different. What's the next one up for bid, man?
Next up, it is Byron Leftwich.
Oh, I wouldn't mind this.
A lot of minorities on this joint, Dave.
Yeah.
I like Byron Leftwich. I think he might be. I got to go back and look at it. He might be at the top of my list, fam. I ain't gonna hold you. Byron Leftwich might be at the top of my list. between him and Ryans, I think those might be my top guys. What you think, Dave? No?
I think Ryans for me is Ryans, Leftwich. Those are like when you talk about a DC or OC, those are my top two. Those are my top two guys. I wouldn't, but every name that you've mentioned, other than the fact that we have to give up the house, the car, and the boat for Sean Payton, I wouldn't be mad at any of them. I think I would be mad at the Payton pick because I know we have to give up a lot to get him. Like I don't think it's just a matter of just picking Payton up from the airport type of situation. We would have to give the Saints some compensation to take him, and it's whether or not the Saints are willing to do it.
I wouldn't. I'm not gonna give him to my division rival and then have to see him twice a year for the next 10 years. Nah, I'm good on that. All right, so Byron Leftwich, and then next up we have, I think this is the last, second to last one. Let's see. Brian Flores. So Brian Flores, who a lot of people are asking about.
A lot of people are asking about Flores. So thumbs up, thumbs down for Brian Flores.
Thumbs up, thumbs down in the chat for Flores.
I wouldn't be mad at it. He can coach. Like I think the situation that he had in Miami shows that he can coach. The dude had a winning record when he got fired, guys. So I don't know why you guys are saying he's a terrible head coach. Like we know what it is, man. It's fine. But I think Flores should get another opportunity. I know there was talks about how he treated some of the players. I know there was talks about the whole situation with Tua, but he can coach. When you got to win a record against Bill Belichick, I mean that stands for something. So we'll see. I mean, Ryans is my top pick. If you ask me right now today, who would I want? I want Ryans. But we got to see what happens with that.
All right, next up, and last but not least on this list, Eric Bieniemy, Dave. Now, a lot of people, including us, were pounding the table for Bieniemy a year ago or a year or two ago when we had the opportunity to hire a head coach. But there's a lot of things that have come out recently, including shout out to the super chat that just came in here. Where was it? So Shady just dogged Eric Bieniemy in the on the podcast. I think I Am Athlete. We've seen a lot. We saw him and Patrick Mahomes get into it. So I don't know the particulars and I don't know what's going on. But maybe there is a valid reason as to why dudes don't want Bieniemy, bro.
And I think the other thing that hurt him too was some of the things that happened in his past as well. And I feel like, in my opinion, I think that was unfair from that aspect. I'm more concerned about what the players are saying about him as a coach more than anything else, in my opinion. But when I'm leaning towards off the train of Bieniemy right now. I felt like he probably could have done some damage. And I think if Bieniemy was the hire when we hired RHULE, I don't think Cam would have gotten released. I really don't. I think he would have had the opportunity to play and have at least a year or two before they make the decision on whether or not they want to move forward with another quarterback. So I'm kind of off. I think there's better candidates than Eric Bieniemy right now. That being said, I still think he got a raw deal. I still think he should have been a head coach. I've seen all these other Andy Reid disciples get these opportunities. You know what I'm saying? So I think he should have been a head coach. I mean, we're seeing Nathaniel Hackett out here struggling in Denver. He should have never been a head coach. Maybe you should have gave that. Maybe Bieniemy should have gotten that head coaching job. I think he probably would be playing better now from that standpoint. Let's see. We lose the Arizona for the first time in 9 years. This firing is a week too late. Tepper is not impressive since taking over. We got rid of Ron Rivera for this. Appreciate the super chat, man. Look, I thought he was going after the Saints game if we would have lost, but we won the Saints game and that gave him 2 more weeks. That's what it boiled down to for me. I mean, I was at the game and everything. So I think when we beat the Saints, that delayed the inevitable. And then I said it in the post game. This game is a mirage if we lose to Arizona next week.
Yep.
And it became a mirage immediately as soon as we lost to Arizona, knowing that we had San Francisco coming up at home. So
that's right. I agree. I 1000% agree. So real quick, just for the show tonight, I think we're gonna do something special. And I didn't talk about this with Dave; it just popped in my head. I really don't feel like compiling all the stats and all that for tonight because it doesn't make much sense, especially since we got the crazy news. But I do want to invite folks to come on the show, kind of voice their opinion about what's going to happen and kind of what they want to do next moving forward. So we're gonna skip the breakdown of the game, and maybe we'll highlight a couple of things about the game, but. Dave, you open to that?
You know what?
Kind of just invite people on.
I'm open to inviting, but for the sake of fairness, I want to send it out to the patrons to see if they want to hop on first. I want to give those guys priority.
Yeah, fair enough.
We're going to go live at 8:30, guys, and I'll pop a message in the Discord about who's interested in going on. We'll probably pop the link in there first once we set the live stream up for tonight, and we'll let the patrons start, and then. Once we get through that rhythm, then we'll invite everybody else in after. But I want to make sure that the guys and gals who have been supporting the channel for a long period of time get the opportunity.
And Dave, did you get a chance? Did you get a chance to drop that news in there? I didn't see it.
I did. I did.
Okay.
I didn't name the individual, but I gave them more than enough clues.
Got you. Okay, cool.
So
I just want to make sure because I missed it. I must have.
Yeah, I wanted to wait and see if we got more subs.
Yeah,
and we did. And I said,
we got a couple.
I put it in the morning. Yep, I put it in this morning in the general area.
All right, so cool. Shout out to all the Patreon members. Hang tight. Hopefully, all my prayer warriors out there, throw up a quick prayer for your boys. Hopefully, we can make that thing happen. But let me order. Dang, this is expensive.
Yeah, I might need a couple of
super chats.
I might need to you see my man said I might need a couple super chats.
I might need a couple more super chats in this month. God, dog. I got
shout out to Brandon for the super chat. Seeing articles about trading Burns and CNC. If we get a first round for Burns, I would love to draft Stroud and Bijan Robinson. Ken Dorsey for head coach. Appreciate the super chat, Brandon. I definitely see a scenario that both of those guys could be traded. And I wouldn't miss them both. Well, I would absolutely miss Brian Burns. And I would miss CMC as well. I just felt like the contract that we gave CMC, I felt like we probably should have made the move before we signed him long term. And I've always felt that way when it came to CMC. Not saying he wasn't a talented running back. He's a really good running back, one of the best running backs in the NFL. I just felt like the money didn't warrant it. And we've seen over history that paying running backs isn't necessarily the path to winning a Super Bowl. And if you don't think that, all you got to do is look at and see what Jeff Wilson Jr. did to us yesterday. And that should show you more than enough between him and Tevin Coleman. So let's see here. It ain't about who we got faith in. It's about getting draft capital, man. We only got 4 picks this upcoming year. We're going to have to rebuild the team. I agree here. That ain't even close. Hackett is terrible. I wouldn't be mad at this. Although that I don't, and Rashad can't see it, but I'll say it. Luke Kuechly for head coach. I wouldn't be mad at it, but I'll be worried because then I got to be critical.
Yeah,
and I like Luke too much, man.
Yeah, we're not gonna disrespect Luke at all, bro.
Yeah, I love Luke too much for that. Bro, I'm gonna be honest. If I think about I could count on my hand how many Panthers wins I've seen in person. The first Panthers game I ever went to was a win, though. And that was the Giants playoff game. It ended up being Eli Manning's first playoff game, too. That was the game when Nick Goings went off at Giants Stadium. So I was there for that. I was also there when we lost to the Jets. I was also there. I've been to a couple Panther games against the I went to the Falcons game in Atlanta. We lost. I went to the Saints game. I went to when we played the Bears when it was John Fox's return to Bank of America Stadium. We lost. Yeah, I've been to some rough games too, man. I was in Buffalo when EJ Manuel had his moment and we benched Josh Norman. You remember that?
Yeah.
So I've been to a lot of rough ones. I've been to more rough ones than good ones. Let me say that.
So was there anybody else on that list we didn't talk about? Luke. I think Luke is an interesting name. I don't know if he's.
Nah,
I think he needs to start out as coordinator first, so we can see his chops.
My offensive line is fine.
I was saying, I saw the super chat. I'm like, bro, what have you been watching? Yo, this is the best offensive line we've had since damn 2008.
Yeah, so the offensive line been fine. Let's see here.
Dan,
I haven't eaten either, bro.
Cool. I'm trying to eat. Yeah, I'm trying to eat, bro. I gotta eat. I just put my order in, man, because I wanna be live when the press conference goes, or at least close to it. So I just put my order in. I just put in a DoorDash or Chipotle order. So I'm gonna eat when I get here.
Yeah, you about to? Yeah, I might need to go ahead and make that happen right now. Let me see here. So let's see more super chats. Thanks goodness for the change. Is it too early to drink? It's never too early to drink. It's 5:00 somewhere, man. You know that. Appreciate the super chat, John. DJ Kiko. All right. Yeah, man. Everybody's happy, man. I mean, you never want to be celebrating a firing. I just think it was long overdue. And it goes back to the show that we should have did this at the end of last season. I don't know why we even gave him a chance this year to try to turn this around. Bro, all due respect, Hector. I hope all is well, my man. No way we can hire Bill Cowher. Not at this point. At this point, I'm fearful of the NFL passing him by type of situation. He's been out the league for a minute now. So I don't think I want to do this. Yeah, I'm about to figure out this lunch situation. Oh, let's see. What I mean, he doesn't really need to. I mean, my man already did a silent holdout. I told y'all when he got that new deal that was a silent holdout. So now he got his money. So I don't know if he's gonna ask for a trade at this rate. I don't think he's gonna have a choice though if they make the decision to trade him. I shot a message to Sheena. Sheena informed me that it hasn't happened yet. And they're still live on Twitter Spaces right now. So
yeah, so everybody is kind of waiting, holding out on the press conference because we all want to see kind of what real talk. We need to hear from Tepper, that's what they need to be trying to round up. I want to hear from Scott Fitter. I want to hear from David Tepper, and I want to hear from Wilks. Those are three guys I want to hear from today. So I'm trying to hold out to see how we're looking here. But what if let's talk about a scenario?
Well, you know what? Since we got time, bro, let's talk about the game yesterday. Since we don't really get into it tomorrow anyway. Tonight. So let's go ahead. We got a little bit of time. You know, we're already live. We got over 666 people watching. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you want to support the channel even more, become a Patreon. So the information is down there. If you want to become a Patreon, we have 3 tiers. Once you become a member, you get access to the Discord. So let's talk about the game yesterday. You probably haven't watched it live. You haven't watched it yet since you've been home.
I haven't watched it live.
I did. Bro. Terrible. We don't need to hear from RHULE. But appreciate the super chat, Deontay. So
we got to hear what RHULE has to hear about it.
We got to see what RHULE has to think.
That's funny.
That joke always gets me, man. Always gets me. And the irony of it all is now everybody want to hear what Dave Chappelle got to think. All right. So the game as a whole, I never thought we were in it. I was concerned going into the game that Jeff Wilson was going to be a problem. I felt like we would probably be able to neutralize Deebo Samuel with J.C. Horn as long as he was following him throughout the game, which it seems like that happened a lot in the game. And we did do a really good job in shutting down Deebo Samuel. But I think the game ultimately would boil down to whether or not we could do something offensively. And we saw that we weren't able to do anything offensively, which is what has been a trend of this season and of last season as well. And it showed. And you can't expect the defense to keep stopping us. I think the moment where I was about to leave Buffalo Wild Wings yesterday was when Baker Mayfield went back to pass and did this stupid, hesitant pump fake and threw a pick six.
Yeah, and pick. Well, I think that was a part of his. That's a part of his thing, right? That he didn't want to get the pass batted down, so he pump faked. And when he pump faked, I did see that play. He pump faked and then threw a pick too high. Again, it's one of those things. We've seen it consistently. Threw it over Christian McCaffrey's head, right into my man. Shout out to the dude that had the pick six. He's from Greensboro, went to Dudley. So shout out to that. Shout out to the 49ers player that got the pick.
Did not know that.
His whole family was there. Yeah, his whole family. And shout out to him, man. That's a dope moment. Even though I'm not a 49ers fan, that was a dope moment because he's from Greensboro, went to Dudley High School. So shout out to him. Yeah, so did we see Icky's PFF grade? Yes, I have the grades right here, sir. Let's pull them up. I'll share them with you since I'm not going to do the slides. I might do them. I might do a couple. I'm not going to do the whole thing. Here we go. All right, so this is what I do every week. Come in here, look at the PFF grades, and he has a combined run block and pass block
98.
Grade. Yeah, 98 run block, and that's what he does. That's what he did in college. That's what he did in college. That's what he did in college. Road grade. That's what he did.
The debate was whether or not who was the best lineman between him and Evan Neal, but that right there tells you why.
So his
over the edge.
Yeah, his combined score was a 92. So if you include, and it's not a direct average, so don't try to average these two out and be like, oh, that's not how.
I did the math in my head. It is not a direct average.
That's not
how
even
it works.
Close. Yeah, not even close. But yeah. So his total offensive grade was a 98, or excuse me, 92. Run block of a 90, pass block of 72. So then what I do next, and I can't slide over for some reason, but what I do next is look at the pressure count. And he only gave up one pressure. He did have one penalty. But yeah, that's really good. So Corbett gave up
EFS is efficiency, right? I'm assuming.
Where are you at? EFF, yeah. EFF is efficiency. There's a key if you need it. EFF is
a pass blocking efficiency.
There you go.
All right.
Yep. So Taylor Moton had a much better day than he did last week. It was down from the week prior.
It's interesting. What's interesting? Like, this tells me why we don't see Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard's pass blocking efficiency is a 66.7.
Yeah.
And it's also interesting that Donta Foreman really didn't get the opportunity. Because he don't even have a number. So that tells me that he wasn't there on pass catching down. So now if Foreman's in, they're running the ball.
It was pretty much called it. We called it in the stands. Shout out to my PSL crew. We called it because Foreman came in the game and he had a good run. He had a good run the first time, but his second run that he had, everybody knew we were running football and that they pretty much shut it down because anytime he's in the game, he's running. So it's predictable. Again, that speaks to the offense, the lack of creativity that we've had. My fault. So that's what the offense looks like from a pass block perspective. Let's see what Eflin looked like. Eflin had a midday. 53 is not terrible, but it ain't great either. Christensen had a rough go. He gave up 4 pressures, so they was getting after him. He gave up a sack, 2 quarterback hits, and then a hurry. So he had a rough go. Yeah, rough go for Eflin.
I mean, for Christensen.
Christensen, my bad, Christensen, my fault. Then I go to look at the defense.
They're saying that Baker's got a high ankle sprain.
Oh, so he's gonna be out a couple weeks.
Yeah, 4-week minimum.
Is that what they said? He's gonna be out 4 weeks.
Well, I mean, if it's a severe one, it could be a couple weeks, man. At least 4 weeks. If it was as bad as the one that Sam got, but it didn't look like that bad. Let me see. Let me try to get confirmation of what folks are reporting, because I don't want to.
Shout out to Jordan Golston. Shout out to Jordan Golston. Just sent me a tweet that Ian Rappaport sent out. Ian Rappaport said, "My understanding of the contract of former Panthers coach Matt RHULE." I like the ring of that. Former head coach Matt RHULE. Carolina is on the hook for this season, but the salaries for ensuing seasons are offset by what his future college jobs pays him. So whatever college job he takes is going to offset the balance of the contract. RHULE gets all $40 million, but the Panthers will likely only pay this year of it. So those who are worried about the money.
So bottom line, if he takes a college coaching job, they're going to foot the bill.
Correct.
But he could just sit around and do nothing.
He could
for the next 4 years if he wanted to. But I don't think he will.
Yeah, I don't think he will.
But he could. That's what Shanahan did. Shanahan chilled for a bit before he came back to go coach. You think Tep's pride will stop him from admitting to Scott that he messed up giving RHULE all that control? Or is it what's understood doesn't need to be said? I mean, actions tell you everything you need to feel about the situation. The fact that they removed him and kept Scott, which I'm happy for Scott, because now Scott's going to get an opportunity to be a higher head coach. So I'm real happy for Scott Fitterer.
Oh, well, what do you know, Dave? Look at
Derek Brown.
Well, what do you know? Who would have thought?
He's been playing at a high level. He's been playing at a high level for the past.
He's been balling, fam. Look at this. Look at this.
Hey,
look at the jump. Look at the jump, Dave. Hold on. First of all, look at this jump. Look at the bottom. This is the season grades. Rookie season, last year, this year. Look at the jump that I called. I gave y'all the recipe of what was going to happen.
Can you compare real talk? Can you compare it to other teams to the rest of the NFL?
I can do it. Give me once.
By position. Go by position.
Yeah, I can do it. It's not easy because they do it by we'll see. Hold on, let's see.
The defensive line. 11th ain't bad.
11th, yep. And remember, every team has 2 of them. So
we know the obvious ones that are going to be at the top.
Yeah.
Was this for just this week or this for the season?
This is the season.
11th ain't bad. I mean, you talking 11th. I mean, some teams only start 1, but
true, some of them do.
I mean, a lot of them start 2.
But what I try to tell y'all was, if you let's look at Quentin Williams. Well, he had a beast sophomore. There's a couple of guys. I got to go back and hold on. I got to answer this call. Give me 1 second.
All right. Well, I can't control the board, but yo, man, Derek Brown's been balling. And once again, Rashad tried to warn you guys. So while he does that, we don't know if Phil Snow's still here or not yet, man. We'll figure that out soon come.
All right,
but yeah, it looks like the reports are accurate about the high ankle sprain for Baker. And if that is the case, he'll miss time. It all depends on how severe it is. But it's a safe bet that he's not going to. It looks like PJ Walker's going to start next week against the Rams. We'll find out if he stays undefeated.
That's crazy to me, man. Good old PJ. Is PJ going to save the day?
Watch PJ win the game. And he probably will. And the Panther tankers are going to be furious.
Defensive line played well, man. You look at all across the defensive line, they all had great games. Hoskins, Ioannidis, Burns, Anderson, McCall even had a decent game. I didn't even know Keith Taylor was in the game, bro.
They're going to play 6 snaps.
JC, and then this is JC. This is what I do next. I go to the coverage matchups. This is my favorite part about PFF. They do the coverage breakdowns, and they'll show you who was getting busy on who. Pause. So JC was targeted 3 times, gave up 0 yards. That's crazy, bro. And one pass
crazy stat that somebody put up. In half the games that JC Horns has played, he hasn't given up any yards to the receivers that were covering him.
0 yards, bro.
So
it's crazy.
You can add this one to the list.
JC cooking. JC is cooking.
Jay-Z, the irony of you saying Jay-Z, by the way. I guess you
7
know.
years.
7 years, huh?
7 years is who had the roughest day in the secondary? Was it CJ? Because my man.
It looks like it might have been.
No, he only gave up one big. We had the PI too. He had that PI, pass interference. Let's see. Burns, don't really count that. Littleton had a rough day. They was getting busy on Littleton. Probably across the middle, drag route, stuff like that. I think Miles had a pretty rough day too. No, that's not bad at all. I saw him get a couple of catches caught on him. Shaq Thompson, man, they was killing our linebackers, dog. Yeesh. Yeah, Shaq. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even see JC go out, man.
I did.
I'm tripping. I didn't see him go out. See, that's the difficult part about watching the game, man. I didn't see him go out, and then I left a little bit early. The first time, man, I left before I didn't see PJ play.
Okay, so you left close to the end then. I stayed because I was at that point, man, I was just watching because when I saw in one of the tournaments that I was in the top 20, I was just watching to see what Jeff Wilson and Tyler Higbee was going to do. So I pretty much waited until all the games ended before I left the bar. So it catapulted me into the top 10. So it worked out. Not bad for a $5 tournament. So we're going to see what happens now. But it's a great day, man. I think it is a great day.
Fantastic day.
I think Tepper has an opportunity to clean this up. All right, so we got the PFF scores. The rookies, we know who's going to be on stock down for you. It had to be Henderson, right?
Yeah, I think Henderson. You could say Shaq. You could see a couple of guys. Baker. He been on that jump. Shout out to Terrace Marshall. He played a good bit of snaps. He
played pretty well.
Yeah, he played okay.
We ran 70 plays this year, week 2. Offensively, it looks like, right?
I don't think we had. Well, I think some of these might be like special teams too. So I don't think we ran that many. I think we ran like 60. Yeah,
61.
I think it was 60. No, because
we'll take 61 plus. Where's
plus
PJ at?
Yeah, it was 70.
70 plays.
Yeah. What's 70?
Well, I was looking at Taylor Moton too.
No, you're right. You got it. No, you were right.
70.
You were right. Then what other thing I do is I look at. Go to ESPN and pull up the team stats. Man, y'all getting all the method to my madness, B.
Everybody looks at the box score.
I go to the box score, but look at this man. Look at this man here. Looking confused. So this is where I get all my information from the the game within the game. So 3 of 15 for third down efficiency. That's not good enough. And I said we needed to get at least 50% to become somewhat competitive. That didn't happen.
3 of 5 for fourth down is interesting, though.
Yeah, we're better. And I think that's what Chris from Charlotte Vibe said. He said that we should if we get to fourth down, If we get close enough, we should go for it because we're more efficient going for it on 4th down than we are converting 3rd downs.
Oh,
yep. It says 65 plays. I'm not sure how that got off, but 65 plays. We did come close to winning a time possession battle. Came close, not quite.
Didn't matter. We never got we didn't get into the box enough, man.
Yeah.
Tied turnovers.
Yeah, tied turnovers. The red zone, not good enough. 1 of 3. And then that's where we had the daggone fumble recovery and couldn't get it done. Right there. That's where Pete, what's his name, missed the field goal. Probably should have went for it there. Yards per rush.
First field goal he missed all year too.
Yeah. He's allowed to miss a field goal or two. Probably should have went for it though, if I recall correctly. I can't remember down the distance. Yeah, I did. I left early, man. I never leave. I never leave early, man. I'm not that guy, but I couldn't bear it. And I didn't want to see all them daggone 49ers fans talking shit because I got a quick temper. I don't be want to be disrespected in my own house. So I removed myself from the situation. But yeah. Yeah, that's the game, man. That's pretty much the game.
How'd you feel about McCaffrey's usage?
Let me see.
Well, actually, you know what? Do you mind if I pull up the browser and draft for a quick minute?
Go ahead.
All right, give me a second. Let me go ahead and do a quick share real quick. Give me 1 second. If I can learn how to type, how about we start there? Let's see here. NFL. Look at that. Look who's on the cover. Let's see. Scores. I'm trash at this. Box score. So now you're going to get to see some of my fantasy type of thing. Target share. Good God, man. Christian McCaffrey had a lot of targets. 12 targets. So, Baker, 6 yards per throw. Oh, God. DJ Moore had 8 targets. So he led in receivers. Once again, we haven't looked at the game, but odds are pretty high. He probably didn't have catchable balls out of those 8. Probably why his target share was kind of. His targets weren't.
With Navy Federal,
because Moore's getting the opportunities, but it's just not. The passes haven't been accurate. Rashad Smith getting 5 targets. Robbie getting 5 targets.
All in one fell
Marshall
swipe.
getting 4. I was happy to see
Federal
Marshall get some
Our members
time in.
are the
I will
mission.
say that. But we got to have a discussion about.
You got to mute that, Dave. Mute the yeah. There we go. You got to mute the. We can hear the. There we go.
I just muted it, even though it's funny because I can't hear it. That's weird.
All right, we can hear it.
All right, sorry about that, guys. So the target share is interesting, to say the least. I know you've been an advocate of spreading the ball around, but I'll tell you what, man. I think it's important to get the tight end involved. I just don't know whether or not we want to give him 6 targets. That's just my opinion. But what say you, sir?
Who are we talking about?
Target share with the tight ends.
I mean, they suck.
I mean, that's always been a thing that we've always discussed.
If we had good ones.
I've never been an advocate of giving that many targets to the tight end. Now, granted, we threw the ball 42 times, which is probably like due to the fact that we were so behind. But I just feel like I don't think we should be giving that many targets to the tight end position. Marshall getting 4 targets is cool.
I like that.
Robbie getting 5 is cool. Just sucks he only got 1 completion.
Yeah, that's crazy to me, man. That is crazy.
This is why I look at this data, because I'm always like, besides the fact that I'm the fantasy guy, right? But like when I do decide who I want to go after and draft, I pay attention to target share, and because I think it's important. Chris McCaffrey pretty much got the same rate that he was getting prior to this week. He got 12 targets, which is a lot. I mean, that's above his normal, but that's probably because we were behind. We gave a lot of screen passes to him. Yep. So that's going to be expected. But, I'm just hoping that...
Got to go pick up my food there. I'll be right back.
No, you good. I'm just hoping that DJ Moore gets more love when it comes from that aspect. Now, you got me. Now, if I see your food, man, and it's good, I'm going to have to order something. Well, we got to see what the status of Sam Darnold is. Let's see. Wouldn't be mad at it. Wouldn't be shocked though. But if we do decide to bring in Dak Prescott, we gotta keep PJ Walker as the backup. And I've already gone over my black quarterback philosophy when it comes to that. Like, I know you guys remember the good times of Cam, but I remember the bad times of Cam and folks were asking for Derek Anderson. And there was a Derek Anderson hive. I do remember the Derek Anderson hive. So, yeah, I'm about to order me something. Because, let me send a text to the wife, see if she wants something. All right, so no, we're still going to go live, but tonight's show is going to be more about, we're going to let folks in. We're going to give priority to the Patreon members first, but we're going to let you guys have an opportunity to talk about how things went this season. The things went during the RHULE era, how things went this year. So tonight's show is going to be more of a people show, so to speak. So we will be going live. We're going to go live at 8:30 p.m. Since Rashad doesn't have class, we're going to go on our regularly scheduled time. So we do plan on going live tonight at 8:30 p.m. We're trying to hold off until the pressure comes out. So we just decided to go through the game data. So no, this is not going to replace tonight's show. It's just going to replace the subject matter of tonight's show.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I've been primarily watching more FCS football. I haven't watched enough FBS football to make an opinion on this. I mean, I'll defer to Rashad when it comes to who he thinks is a better quarterback option. And in my opinion, it's probably based on Rashad's opinion, I'm rolling with CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud it is.
Because I did watch my mock draft Monday earlier today. Now, I've been more focused on FCS, man. Believe it or not, I've been watching more FCS. I watched Delaware and William and Mary last weekend. You know what I'm saying? So I've been more on the FCS vibes, particularly HBCU football, but mainly FCS vibes. Yo, man, A&T ties. His dad was a legendary quarterback from North Carolina A&T. A&T ties right here. Where do I watch FCS? ESPN Plus, Flow Sports. Because I got a membership to Flow Sports because A&T's basketball games are going to A&T volleyball and basketball games are going to be on Flow Sports this year. So I got a membership to Flow Sports. So yeah, ESPN Plus, Flow Sports. Those are pretty much the main two spots right now. HBCU Go for some of the HBCU games, HBCU League Pass. So yeah. It depends on where we're at in the draft stats. I can see us drafting a quarterback. Depending on who we hire as a head coach, depending on what direction they want to go. Maybe they might give Corral opportunity, but I don't see it now, guys. I think I feel for Matt Corral. You want to talk about a raw deal, you know? So I don't know where he's at, man. You let me know when you find him. And I believe it's Carl with a K. I don't know where he's at.
He got to come get this smoke, babe.
Yeah, man. Corral about to get the Jimmy Clausen treatment, which is kind of sad. But this is worse because he really didn't get an opportunity. All because Matt Rhule didn't want to. Matt Rhule's out here trying to create a quarterback controversy, quarterback competition. Possibly, but I don't think Baltimore's going to let him go into free agency until 2024 at the earliest. They're going to tag him if they don't re-sign him. My opinion on that. But I do think I don't see if Baltimore keeps hesitating with this, he won't be the quarterback for long. But I think they're gonna have to swallow their pride. But he wants a fully guaranteed deal. He wants something like a Kirk Cousins, a Deshaun Watson. That's the type of deal he wants, fully guaranteed. Well, dude, we gained a lot of subscribers throughout this chat, which reminds me, guys, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you want to support the channel, become a Patreon.
That's funny.
Look, man.
Yeah, Dave. I'm not sure if they're gonna go live, man.
Yeah, we might have to go ahead and close this one up because
Yeah.
I mean, anything else about the game you want to talk about? Because I don't know.
No.
Like I said, the target share is interesting. From a fantasy standpoint, I mean, you still play your guys. I still wouldn't play DJ Moore till we see what it looks like. Christian McCaffrey is going to be fine. You can play him every week. Dude had a really good day from a fantasy perspective. You know, he got what you want to see. The dude got 12 targets. He got 14 carries. We can have a discussion point about why Devonta Freeman only got 2 carries, but I know how you feel about that, sir. Even DJ Moore got a carry
every week. But
yeah.
Who are me to judge?
Damian Wilson led the team in tackles. So, yeah, man, that's where we at. That's where we at in these. That's where we at in these streets. That's where we at. I'll stay tuned. If CJ keeps doing what he's doing, we might see this.
Yeah, for sure.
This is hilarious. He might have. Maybe that was Matt Rhule. You never know, man. Maybe he was the lurker. It probably wasn't, but you know.
He had a few of them for sure.
Oh, he had a lot of folks backing him up, man. And I mean, that's expected, right? Like that's what you expect. But yeah. Let me see. Trying to see if there's anything going on in these Twitter streets.
Now, so Snow is still the defensive coordinator right now, but I'm quite sure he will leave at the end of the season and go wherever Matt Rhule goes. But we don't know for sure.
Matt Rhule's going to have pretty much the pick of the litter when it comes to college coaches, dude. Like if he want to go get a job right now, that could very well happen. There's some availability. There is some availability. But before exiting the building, Panthers coach Matt Rhule addressed his players and said goodbye and thank you. Good, classy move for all to allow this to happen. So,
who said that?
According to Ian Rappaport. Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, Matt Rhule will probably have a college joke within the next 2 weeks. If I was a betting person, he'll probably
already.
Yeah, he could pick up Georgia Tech, Auburn. I know Jackson State fans are happy though. One less job to worry about Deion running to. Now, Tyler Huntley, Geno next year if we don't draft a QB. I wouldn't be mad at this. I think the fan base will. Because like you were saying in your mock draft money this morning, Rashad, you got to consider taking Will Anderson at number 1 overall. If we stay at number 1 overall. That's still a consideration. Because we need edge rusher help bad too.
And we do have Matt Corral too. It depends on how the new coach feels about Matt Corral. Because again, you can't judge Corral on a, you really can't judge him based on that coaching staff. Basically, everybody was ass under the coaching staff, so things could change. So I don't know, but at the same time, it's really tough to pass up on one of those quarterbacks when you got that opportunity. So,
agreed.
Interesting decision.
I completely agree. All right, let me go ahead and eat now. Now you out here smacking. I gotta eat. I gotta order something.
My bad. I'm hungry.
No, you good.
But all right, yeah, we'll if the presser does happen to go live and I'm not doing nothing, I will go live real quick. And Dave, I'll send you a text and we'll talk about it and we'll go live. But until then, we've kind of been hanging out, just chilling.
Yeah. And like he out here getting Chipotle, I might just step out if we're about to close the show, and I'll just take a ride.
Yeah, we can close it. Yeah, we can close it. That being said, man, we'll see y'all tonight. Patreon members, stay tuned to the Discord. We'll drop a link in the chat so y'all can join us to provide your thoughts. It's the people show tonight. There's no point for us to sit up here and talk about the game. People, you'll be able to event, not only in the chat but live. So that being said, man, we will go ahead.
No, we good. Go ahead, close us out.
Oh.
No,
that being said, like, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. We'll see y'all tonight, 8:30 Eastern time. We out. Peace.